Please come back and share our thoughts in the end.
And especially the African American experience. It's literally not duplicated anywhere on earth in history.
Work in IT?
Yeah.
Not using a Terra, huh?
How did you know?
Well, you kind of trying to be
African Americans are a completely unique phenomenon as a people. Who they are culturally, what their history is, what their experience is, isn't duplicated anywhere on earth. You don't know where you came from. You don't know what country you came from. You don't know what culture you came from. You don't know what language you came from. You don't know what your religion was before. You, like I've said before, you're more American than anyone because you don't have any other identity. Actually, your entire identity is American based. That's not the case of anyone else. I'm Irish American, I'm German American, I'm Italian American, I'm Jewish American, I'm this or that, the other. You can say African American, but you don't know anything about Africa. You don't even know which part of Africa. Africans don't call themselves that because I know my tribe. I have my language. I have my region, my country, my whatever. Like me saying European American. I'm not European. I'm specifically Irish and German. But you can't say that. You are American. You're the original Americans. You know, everyone else is immigrants. You can't even be called immigrants. Yeah. You know, you're originally American, and your culture is as close to being the indigenous culture of America as there can be without you being the indigenous people. You know, you're the indigenous people of the entity called America, called the United States of America. Everything else came from elsewhere. Your culture is the only one that came from right there because you were cut off from everything else. You know, there's nobody else like that. There's nobody else like that in the world. There's no other culture like that in the world. The whole topic of race in America is radioactive. And to talk about race in America is like trying to do, it's like trying to perform brain surgery while wearing a hazmat suit. And the patient is on LSD and doesn't know that they need brain surgery and thinks you're a monster, thinks you're attacking them. It's a very difficult topic to talk about. And I don't think that that's necessarily accidental. I think that they try to make this a very difficult topic to talk about. But the issue of Black History Month, subhanAllah. Well, look, put it in the context of history overall. In terms of the history of the people who decided that you get to have 1 month to talk about Black history. The history of the people who decided that month, the month that will be dedicated to so-called Black history, will be the shortest month of the year. So talk about the history of this people, and you're talking about a history that is full of atrocities, that's full of criminal viciousness, and the character, the psyche, and the ethos of a people is comprised of their history. Their history gives birth to or forms their psyche, their ethos, and their character. But when you're talking about America specifically, but if you're talking about America and the West generally, they have a very serious, what in psychology would be a split personality disorder, in that their ethos is completely different from their character and their psyche. Their character and their psyche is the product of their history, but their ethos is not the product of their history directly. In other words, what I mean is their psyche and their character is genuinely the product of the atrocities that they've committed. It's genuinely the product of the criminal viciousness and brutality that they have inflicted on others, including each other. This actually exists in their psyche. This is a reality. the actual reality of their history does exist in their psyche and exists in their character, but the ethos that they have built has been built precisely for the purpose of denying that history. The ethos that they've built has been built precisely to cover up their deeds, to cover up and to hide their actions, and to deny their actions. So this has created a very fractured national psyche, a very fractured national identity, say, because the totality of your identity is like your character, your psyche, your ethos, and so forth, all of which is supposed to be congruent with your history. With other nations, their history is made of their deeds, it's made of their actions, what they learned from it, how they developed from that, how they were affected by that, and what kind of people they became as a result of all of that. That's for other nations. For the West, and especially for America, everything that made them who they are is denied.
Builders don't imagine a business. They build it on Base 40.
Oh, so how y'all doing? How y'all doing? John, man, Shahid Bolsen is talking. There any supremacists out there that would deny any of this information? You can say something.
Also, who they are, they deny. And one of the major factors of all of this, of course, is race. Specifically, well, not even race, but racism, white supremacy, and the dehumanization of so-called black people, the dehumanization of Africans, and their treatment of them. This is all denied. And the worst thing you can do, if you're talking about it as on an individual level, if you anthropomorphize the nation, as I'm doing, the worst thing you can do to someone who has a split personality is to confront them about their condition, because they've built their whole way of coping in the world, their whole way of functioning in the world is based on these two elements of their identity never meeting, never being reconciled, always being compartmentalized. What needs to happen is for it to be confronted, it needs to be reconciled, it needs to be dealt with. They're never willing to do that. So you look at this reality of who they are, what they've done, and how they have built their the psyche that they have, and then the ethos that they desperately need to maintain. Put all of that as the context for Black History Month, which is your obligation in Black History Month, because this is an obligation that is being put on Black people in America. This isn't an opportunity, this isn't a celebration, this is an obligation being put on Black people, that you will agree to contain the totality of your history in 28 days in February, and what you will talk about during those 28 days in February is not going to make us too uncomfortable. Your obligation is that you will go along with the maintenance of our fake ethos, which requires you to be very, very careful about what you say about our deeds and our actions and what actually our psyche is. And this is a manifestation of that psyche, of that dominating psyche, of that oppressive psyche that has built the whole this dominating and oppressive psyche that the ethos that they built is designed to deny and to pretend is not the case. The ethos that they built, of course, is not as oppressors but as liberators, not as enslavers but as saviors, as redeemers, not as punishers. The ethos that they built is the complete opposite of what their history shows they are and what they've been. And obviously you can never change, you can never become even the aspirational ethos, because that's all you can call it. The American ethos is an aspirational ethos at best. That's giving them benefit of the doubt. that they aspire to be liberators, they aspire to be redeemers, they aspire to be saviors, they aspire to be good and righteous and freedom loving and fighters for justice and so forth, defenders of rights and all of that. We can, benefit of the doubt, say that they aspire to be that. But when you are applying it to yourself as if you are that, and as if there's any evidence whatsoever that you are that, then you'll never be it. So even if it is an aspiration, if you're claiming that you have already achieved it, well, then you never will achieve it. But they put Black History Month, a parentheses in the year when the totality of the African American experience has to be contained within this 28 days, and it has to be palatable. And the whole purpose of it is actually to celebrate us for giving you Black History Month. You know, and the same goes for all of these, in my opinion anyway, my unqualified opinion, the federal holidays, like they just gave it to Juneteenth, I think last year or the year before.
Within the past 2 years, it's become a federal holiday.
Federal holiday, right? MLK Day, Martin Luther King Day, and so on. To me, this is absolutely, from again, my opinion, this is absolutely grotesque. The federal government granting these holidays or establishing these holidays, to me, is like the killer coming to the funeral of the one whom he killed and giving flowers to the widow. That's what these holidays represent to me, in my opinion. And I'm always reminded when Black History Month comes along, or when there's Juneteenth, or when it's Martin Luther King Day, or what have you, I'm always reminded of that scene in 12 Years a Slave, where the slave master, the Michael Fassbender character.
Rental cars are not cool. Cars can come in all shapes and sizes. Rental cars are mid-sized or similar. Cars are all about the details. Rental cars.
Shoot. How did that sound so far, y'all? Is he hitting you upside your head with some gangster stuff? Are you learning anything? If you're not, I don't know what to tell you.
Arbitrarily, in the middle of the night, drunk, decides to wake up all the slaves and bring them into the mansion, bring them into the plantation house, and have them dance. And they know that what's expected of them is to pretend to be happy, to celebrate, to dance as the master requires, so that he can feel that he's a very magnanimous, very generous, very beneficent master. And how dare they not have fun? How dare they not show their absolute rapture at the great generosity of their great white master? And it's the most, in my opinion, it's the most grotesque form of oppression, where you're forcing someone not only to do something for your pleasure, for your enjoyment, and to make you feel good about yourself as an oppressor, but you also require them to smile while they're doing it. You require them to pretend to be happy and to pretend to enjoy it, and it makes an absolute mockery of all human emotion. To me, it's quite vicious, and I think that, again, with regards to Black History Month, I think that it's important to see it in the overall context of the history of American society and Western civilization overall, and also to see it as what it is, which is the white power structure in America obliging Black people in America with regards to what they can and cannot celebrate about their history, what they can and cannot commemorate about their history. And in fact, also, that's the important word that I just said, celebrate, rather than mourn, rather than lament, rather than blame, rather than accuse, rather than seek justice. Celebrate your history. Don't bring the party down by reminding everyone about how terrible everything has actually been in this country for you, and how terrible this country has been to you. Celebrate your history, be proud, because if you're not, then you're doing a disservice to other African Americans, you're doing a disservice to black people. If you don't, this is our only opportunity. We've only got these 28 days to talk about how great Harriet Tubman was, to talk about how great Frederick Douglass was. We've only got these 28 days to talk about inventions that were innovated by black people and so on. Let's talk about
Washington Carver, Peanuts.
precisely. Let's talk in these 28 days. This is the only 28 days we've got. Let's try to stick in as many black achievers as possible, and not talk about the fact that just surviving in and of itself is an achievement. And let's talk about why that is.
Yes, sir.
That's my opinion, unfiltered. This is why I began by talking about you have to put all of this in the context of the split personality disorder that the West has and that America has. To understand that, like for example, what you're talking about, like a Martin Luther King Day or a Juneteenth or Black History Month, and then the way that those holidays are. Or rather, what sort of activities, what sort of commemorations are designated for those holidays? You're always told that this is empowering. And so we have to talk about, again, Black achievement, outstanding African Americans, success stories, and so forth, and heroes, and so on, because it's empowering and it's positive, and what the idea is that what black people need, what African Americans need, what everybody needs is positivity. So let's not focus on the negative and what have you. But it's inescapable. The very fact that you have sandwiched this topic in, again, the shortest month of the year, it demonstrates the extent to which this population remains contained, remains suppressed, remains repressed, remains marginalized, remains sidelined. And then, like I said, this is why it reminds me of that scene in the film. If you haven't seen the film, there's a scene where the slave master just, I can't remember what prompted him, or if anything prompted him. He just got drunk and decides to go into the slave quarters, and he wakes everyone up arbitrarily and forces them all to come into his mansion and do a dance and pretend that we're all celebrating together or what have you. And don't you dare be negative. This is your opportunity to be positive. This is, don't bring down the mood. Just put on that party hat and eat some cake, and don't bring everybody down by talking about how terrible it is that you've got 28 days to talk about this. That's what these things mean. The point of all of these types of activities, the point of all of these types of holidays, all of these events, as with everything else in that society, the point of it is to maintain the compartmentalization of this split personality.
I love creating. I just don't love being on camera. So instead of
Well. I don't know. Just seems kind of awkward, huh? Seems kind of awkward. Seems like the truth, right? Does to me.
Never bring these two elements of the personality and these two elements of the identity into what should be reconciliation, but would be conflict and confrontation, which would cause a complete meltdown if they actually have to confront that their ethos, as I said, their ethos is a completely fabricated illusion that does not, that only is connected to their history insofar as it exists to deny their history. It only exists to cover up their history. And so, Black History Month, Martin Luther King Day, the scrubbing from history of Malcolm X, and many, many, many others. All of this is for the same purpose. It's to maintain the separation, the compartmentalization of the reality of what America is and what America was and who they are as a nation collectively. Obviously, I leave room for there to be individuals who somehow are able to save themselves from this radiation that has poisoned the entire society, black and white. But as a collective, as a nation, the sickness is there, and you have to keep this separate, because the reality of who they are and what they've done and who they are as a nation is completely unrelated to the ethos that they have created for themselves. It's completely unrelated. They're strangers, one from the other. The ethos that they've created, the character that they have invented, doesn't exist. It's a fiction. The American character is a fiction. It's a fictional character, because the reality of who America has been is one of the worst villains in human history. And the character that they've created is a hero. And so everything that they do, like a Black History Month or Martin Luther King Day or so on and so on, the reason that is established, the reason that it is given, and the way it is managed is for this purpose: to keep the ethos safe from the reality, to keep the fiction safe from the truth, to never let the two meet, because if they meet, it would be a catastrophe. It would be a psychological meltdown of the entire nation. All of this, you also have to understand, reframe it as this is the white power structure in America, basically affirming and admitting we are never going to integrate your history into history, into the teaching of history. We will give you this time to talk about it because it will never be integrated into our story, into the totality of our story, into our telling of actual history. We will even have apartheid in our telling of history. There's a black history and then there's history. Officially, it's not called white history. There's black history and then there's history. And we're never going to integrate your story into our story. This is history is whites only. Black history is black history, segregated history. And same with women. We're never going to integrate your story into the totality of the story, because this story exists to maintain the fake ethos. This story, this history is a myth. And in that myth, you have no role, because your actual role in reality, in the reality of the history of what we have done, destroys the myth. So you can't be in there. You can't be in the history that we tell, but we'll give you a month to talk about your history. But that's just a way of saying you're never going to be in the total history that we talk about. So the whole purpose is to maintain this segregation of the American narrative. There is only one prospect for change, only one in America. There is only one prospect for change, and that is Islam. That's the only prospect for change. There is nothing at all, zero, that is contained within the cultural civilizational toolbox.
Now I have to say something about that. That's not my cardinal belief. I believe in I believe in the Bible. Not I'm not I don't. A religion is nothing but what you practice. So whatever you do every day, that's pretty much your religion. That's what you believe. Um, the, the Savior never talked of religions. Matter of fact, he ran from religions. Those were the people that were upset with him. The religious people. So if you're still searching for a religion, I think you're searching for excuses of why you want to keep doing what you're doing, knowing that it's not healthy. Because you don't need to be part of a religion to treat people right. And you don't need to be a part of a religion to believe something upon pondering evidence of everything you've read or experienced. That's why I veer away from Christianity. I know after research, I understand now who the Christians were of this country that put a lot of a lot of despair and wreckage and ruins just on this territory. And we can be specific. I was able to obtain the knowledge that I was asking for. And this is written down, and this is them writing it down. You know, they always write down everything, even when it makes them look terrible. They still document it. I don't know why they would do that, but they still document it. So I know who this country is. I don't have to. I'm sitting here talking. Y'all couldn't hear nothing I was saying, huh? Oh, I was just saying I didn't go along with what he said, but I know who this country is, so I don't have to speculate. I know the Christianity that was bestowed upon people. To me, it's dangerous to put yourself in that box. I get what people say when they call me a Christian. They did that at Antioch. But those people didn't go on calling themselves Christians because the people that didn't like them called them Christians. They veered away from it. It was only picked up by the people who didn't like the people that they called Christians. It was picked up by them because the people that followed Christ had such a good rapport. So if you were one of them, you were instantly trusted. Don't you see how that works around the world? That's why people walk up to you and always ask you they tell you crazy stuff, but they want you to, you know, I'm a Christian. You know, they have to tell you that to let you feel comfortable. That would be a waste. Um, that's why. That's how it was used, and it's still being used in that same form and process. But a lot of people don't know who Michael Aquino is. Everything he's saying, we can stand behind this. A lot of people don't know who Michael Aquino is. Yeah, a lot of people don't know about the Bellamy Salute. Now everything makes sense and why it took us so long to go into Germany. See, that's the stuff thing. When things make sense, they make sense. But nevertheless,
Of that society that can fix it. There is nothing. Everything that's in their toolbox will only make the situation worse. And every time they go into their toolbox, they do only make the situation worse.
Still trying to get open claw working?
Oh shoot. Well. Every time it get good, y'all know how I go.
What a great speech from Shahid Bolsen. I think you will agree with me. Many of you who have got to know Shahid Bolsen from this channel have always told me that I continue featuring him because he understands how to dissect the American issues and the issues affecting blacks in the best way possible. And not only blacks, but every minority in America. So he's done justice to the topic, and here are my views about what's going on. Shahid
I ain't gonna get no views on what's going on with Shahid Bolsen. Just it's common sense, especially if we read the Bible like we say we do. We was warned of all these things in all the letters. Not saying I'm not subject. I'm saying we was warned of all these things. And you were never supposed to put yourself in a box. Never. But I see now why that many people won't make it. I'm not even gonna say I'm gonna make it. I might not qualify, and that's good for me. Just thank you for the opportunity. I'm not that stupid to not be that thankful. That's how I humble myself before God. I don't humble myself before man. That does nothing. Who are you? Why would I do that? What are you, some kind of king or something? Most of the people I know don't even know how money works, and they don't want to hear it because everything that they've done, it throws all that out in the trash that they know now. They've just went in this big circle to make everybody else some money, and they've never made any money. I was just telling my partner, I don't associate a huge house with some people. Let me put it, my commonality friend base that I have, a lot of people that have stuff. I don't associate them that with them having any money because they can't even enjoy it. They're still paying for it. Me, I don't want a house that I'm never there in. That's ludicrous to me. That's why I don't need very much room. If if I'm not able to get what I need, then I don't need to be overexpanding myself, and I need to be actually. If you ask me, I need to be like figuring out how money works. My money needs to work harder than I do. Before I do anything, I need my money work employed. I need my money employed first. And not no business, you gonna buy this and sell that, not that. I'm talking about while you sleep. While you get some rest, your money is yeah. That's the way I'm going. Now, if you want to work hard and do, I'm not. If you don't understand it too, I get all that. That's not my walk. Not saying that your walk is any that's valid, but we have a lot of hard working people that, and then if they are there to enjoy it, they stressed out because they supposed to be somewhere else. And it's crucial that if they ain't somewhere else getting it or some hiccups, you know, things are rocky. And a lot of times, what do? What's up, awesomeness? A lot of the times we what do? We pray to God, fix it. He did already. You made that decision. It's fixed. You can't. I equivalent situations like this equivalent to the outcome is the baby, right? The way you started off, whatever seed you planted, you put in the womb, that's the kind of baby you gonna have, whether you like it or not. You started it. I don't think there's any karma. I think you have grace, and then soon grace runs out, and you get what you get. And a lot of it depends on how graceful were you toward people. Did you show any grace? Did you show any mercy? Like I said, it's just a rant Sunday, but we don't know what family is. We don't even know how to be each other's friends. Yeah, sometimes it's hard being a friend. You don't want to see your friend struggle, but if they putting themselves in a position to struggle, I'm no longer putting myself in a position to struggle with you because you struggle. As a friend, we need to be putting ourselves in position to manifest. That's why I don't hang out much, and the people I do hang out with, we trying to manifest. I don't need to be wasting time with idle talk of people, what they going through. That's idle chatter. I can honestly say at this point, I don't know nobody's business. Bro came in here and like he was talking about the stream world. I don't know. It wasn't that. It was. I just don't be in that place at the time that they talking about it. No, I don't know. Same in my hometown where I live. I don't know. When you walk up on me with somebody's business, I don't be knowing and don't be knowing back line and them act like I had some kind of opinion about it. They do that on a regular. Scary ass. I don't be knowing these motherfuckers. And they don't be knowing me. They be lying. Them motherfucker be with me all day long, won't know who the fuck I am. Until I tell them who I am. I don't want to be your superstar, homie. I don't know what to tell you. You gotta look up to someone else. It's not me. Please don't. That's too much pressure. Read the Proverbs, get in the Bible. I don't know shit. I just know what source has been pretty amazing. Just the storyline. And to know that I'm included. But if you don't see yourself in that book, don't read it. Read the book you see yourself in. You might see yourself in the book of Satan. You might see yourself in Islam, in the Quran. You might see yourself in that book what the Hindus have, the Scientology, wherever you see yourself. I know what if there's one creator, there's just one way back to him. Because nothing is forever here. This ain't living. Everybody on earth trying to live and all we doing is dying. You've been dying since you came out the womb. You've never lived. You can't live in a time with time zone, with time period. The moment the clock start, you getting to the end. You don't have to get younger. So since you came out the womb, me, August 6, 1974, that's when I started dying. That's when I started dying. Because everything, this is where you go to die. Nothing here makes it. The worst thing about it is we don't see that as people. We complicate things. Scientists, everybody got to be smarter and more. It's really simple. Tell people all the time, no, I don't want you to. If you think that reading the Bible makes you a Christian, okay. If you want to be a Christian, if that's what you, whatever you get out of it, that's what you're gonna get. I know what you mean when you say you call yourself a Christian. I get it. I'm not gonna denounce none of the guilt. Whatever you feel, I just know it told me to be disciplined and show others how to be disciplined. And the only way I'm gonna show them how to be disciplined is if I'm disciplined to whatever rules there are that you have set. And he left us with two simple, very, very simple. Love God first. Number one, before everything, before your mama, anybody. Because don't none of that exist without him. It makes perfect sense, right? That's called respect. A lot of our children don't have respect. I'm gonna say this. A lot of our children don't have respect because they don't want to be here. You want me to say that again? A lot of our children don't have any respect because they don't want to be here. Because they've always felt unwanted by who they really wanted to want them. They find out fast when they check this. Kids understand that I live in this house, but my daddy gives my mama went to the white people to get money so my daddy could take care of this house. They understand that. And they understand that if they weren't there, you was gonna have to do that anyway. So you think that person feels important or used? They might not have the vocabulary to express it, but you think that person feels important or used? Because if I love something, because they see your relationships, how you act when you really love something, you'll do everything you can to get to it. You won't complain. You won't ask for any help from nobody else. I mean, come on, keep it real. You dating a nigga, when he go broke, you don't call his mama and y'all put some shit together. You feel like the mama owe you child support because he ain't working right now. Or the mama owe you spouse support right now because he ain't working right now and that's her child. We don't do that. Why? But you take care of that motherfucker unconditionally. You don't think the kids see that? I can only imagine. I didn't go through that. I just think there would be a lot of resentment. I know I would have been resentful if it was like that with me, but it wasn't. I didn't have that. Matter of fact, I got my mom and daddy divorce papers. I don't know how I got them. I read them on here before. But the kid didn't get, my mom didn't want nothing for the kid. But my mom believed in God first. She knew one thing, my daddy couldn't take care of me if he wanted to, if he wanted to. And he did what me and him had our relationship. Again, he made me a man, so I didn't really ask him for much. Best thing he always said, the best thing I can give you is the know-how, is the understanding. Okay, take this to the car lot and see if they'll give you a car. That's why I never had problems getting a car. I got collateral. A lot of people don't know that. If you own something, that's collateral. You can use that to get the things that you want, to get loans on the things that you want. Life insurance policy, paid off. That's collateral. Property, paid off. Taxes is in order. That's collateral. You having a pocket full of money ain't no collateral. And you know why rich people never have a pocket full of money? Because any extra money they have, it goes into a place where it can start making some money. Let me go get me something to drink because I want to play these little low. Let me see if this, how long this will play. Oh my goodness, my goodness, my goodness. It's still playing, ain't it? That's what the end, bro. I got to play all these hits from these songs. I got to sit down. I'm just downloading playing samples of people. It's really not that hard. It's just that you get trained to make it complicated for yourself because that complication makes them money. I mean, it's going down right now in the South. Nobody's saying nothing, y'all, but we have a silent civil war going on right here. And this has nothing to do with black people. This is all to do with white people. All the white people. Well, some white people can't even talk English. Them white people too. It's a war. It's a war down here. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Or everybody lying, act like they still like each other. They don't like each other. It didn't even work. I'm out there to go cut the shit. She did. Come in here, boy, one in this room, what they take all night. Yeah, man. I had that fun. But check these out, y'all. Check these out.
I toss and turn, lost with her, and I still take you back. Confusing me, I'm losing sleep, cause I'm way too attached.
Woohoo, that was I like that.
Yeah, we gonna rise from the bottom to the stars up in the sky.
Why did they do that?
Yeah, we gonna rise from the bottom to the stars up in the sky. Rhythm and blues in my veins, hip hop in my stride. Shadows still look at your shape. Oh, even time couldn't take your place. You're right here still. Oh, for me, can't you see? I'm drowning. Then oceans can hide. Your love mends every fracture deep inside.
Yeah, that was a jam yesterday, y'all. For real, for real, for real. I should have. Yeah, I'm glad he sent me all that information. Oh shoot, can't do that. But yeah, man, everything should be peachy. Hopefully by Wednesday. It look like it's gonna rain all week. All week. Oh, where is my clock? I can't find it. Oh, there it goes. Why ain't been on here? Why I seem so long? Oh, probably because ain't nobody said nothing. But thanks for stopping by if you did.